Deadpool 2 stars Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin and is directed by David Leitch. And in this movie, Wade Wilson puts together a team known as the X-Force to help save a kid from Cable, the time-traveling mutant. You know, I don't know if anyone has said this yet, but that kind of sounds like the plot to Terminator 2. Only Ryan Reynolds doesn't really quite look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm a huge fan of the first Deadpool movie. That movie was a big surprise for everyone when it first came out. It's one of my favorite comic book movies now. It was one of my favorites of that year. So naturally, I was really excited to see Deadpool 2. However, I was a bit nervous about seeing Deadpool 2 for a few reasons. The first reason is that this movie is trying to be bigger and better in all senses of the level than the first movie. The first movie was a very simple, small, kind of contained movie while still being a big budget movie. And we've seen movie sequels that try to do bigger and better things like this, and it doesn't really always work out. The second reason is that Tim Miller, the director for the first movie, didn't direct this one. And I was really disappointed when I heard that because he really understands the Deadpool character. He made that movie a near perfect comic book movie. And when I heard the news that he wasn't directing it, I was kind of disappointed because I really was looking forward to seeing what he was going to do with the second one, kind of continue the story that he did for the first one. But all of my fears were put to rest in literally the first 5 minutes of the movie. I really love Deadpool 2. This movie accomplishes what it wants to do. Like I said, it tries to be a bigger and better movie in all senses of the level, and it really does that. The script really does balance out between the comedy, the action, all the new characters mixed with the old characters from the first movie, without it being an overblown mosh posh of a big budget mess. And that's something that really surprised me. It was bigger and better in the sense, and it actually didn't suck. It wasn't a Spider-Man 3 type thing. Even though this movie accomplishes being bigger than the first movie, it still at times feels very short scale and contained and very simple, very similar to the first movie. I really got to hand it to David Leitch for doing that. You know, he really does a good job balancing the new characters with the old characters, as well as the comedy and the action. It all flows together really good in this movie, and a part of that also has to do with Ryan Reynolds because, my God, he is absolutely perfect. I can't imagine anyone else playing this character. If it wasn't for his charm, his charisma, and his comedy in the movie, these movies probably wouldn't be as successful. They'd probably still be good movies, but a large portion of why they're incredible movies has to do with Ryan Reynolds. He is Deadpool. I can't imagine anyone else playing this character. Something that struck me in this movie was that there wasn't as many fourth wall breaking jokes as there was in the first movie. There are great fourth wall breaking jokes in the movie. It's just that there wasn't as many like there was in the first movie, which kind of surprised me because a lot of the comedy that came from the first movie came from the fourth wall breaking jokes. But, you know, I guess that's kind of also a good thing because you don't want to have too many. It could get to the point where it just forces it down your throat. Basically, all the comedy in this movie is really great. There were a few times where I was laughing so hard I missed a previous joke. It's a similar issue that I had with the Lego Batman movie last year, where I'm laughing so hard I missed another joke. But nevertheless, the comedy is great. This is easily the funniest movie I've seen all year. Also, while I'm still talking about the comedy stuff, without spoiling it, the opening titles of the movie, it's easily the funniest title sequences I've ever seen in a movie ever. It takes it from another movie franchise. I'm not going to say what it is because then I'll give it away. But once you see it, you'll know what franchise it takes it from. And if you're a fan of that franchise like I am, you'll get a kick out of it. I think it tops the title sequences of the first movie. Just thinking about it, I'm just like, that's Deadpool right there. That's easily something Deadpool would do. I really appreciated that. As for negatives for the movie, I only really had one, and it's a nitpicky issue, really. There were a few times in the beginning where they referenced jokes that they did from the first movie, and I'm sitting there and I saw those and I'm like, oh, please don't be one of those movies that just takes jokes from the first movie, you know, kind of in a sense where you're like, hey, you saw this in the first movie and it was funny, remember? We're doing it again. You know, I've seen comedies that do that and it doesn't work. Luckily, though, what makes it a nitpicky issue is that there's only a few times it does it. And it's only in the first couple minutes in the beginning, which is good, because if it turned into that type of movie, I would have been pissed. Luckily, the rest of the movie doesn't rely on jokes that they did in the first movie. It takes its own route, which I really appreciated that. Deadpool 2 did exactly what I wanted it to do. It didn't rely on the first movie. It didn't copy from the first movie. It was bigger and better without it being overblown and overwhelming. And I have to say, I've only seen this movie once, but I will say I like this movie just a little bit better than the first movie. Just a little bit better. Who knows what the second viewing will do? Maybe I'll like it a little less. Maybe I'll like it even more. But as of right now, I love Deadpool 2. I had a blast with it. When it was over, I was still laughing. You know, the mid-credit scenes, you're going to want to stay for the mid-credit scenes, by the way, because they're some of the best. They're easily the best mid-credit scenes I've ever seen. Not just for a Marvel movie, but in a movie in general. It was great. I absolutely loved it. Deadpool 2 gets 5 stars. I absolutely love this movie. I had a blast with it. If you haven't seen the first Deadpool movie, check it out and then go check out this movie. It's the most fun you'll have at a movie this year. I know people say that, you know, when they play commercials, you know, it's the most fun you'll have at a movie this year. This movie really delivers that. Don't worry. It really does. You won't be disappointed with it. Also, can I just say that the marketing for this movie was absolute genius? I went to my local Walmart and I found these. This is genius marketing right here. You know, freaking Deadpool on movie titles that aren't even his. You got The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Predator, and freaking My Cousin Vinny. There were other titles too, but these were the 3 I mainly wanted. There was X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men Days of Future Past, Logan, Fight Club, Edward Scissorhands. There were other ones too, but like I said, these were the ones I mainly wanted. This is absolute genius right here. If you want these, quickly go to Walmart and get them if you haven't already, because this is, especially if you're a movie collector like I am, you're definitely going to want some of these. This is just awesome. I love these. So when you guys see Deadpool 2, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching. Look forward to more reviews coming very soon. If you like this video, then hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, then click right here. And I'll see you guys next time.